In this video, we'll see how your experience during school will impact your chance of getting a good job after graduation. Despite the myth that everyone says about internship, like you have to have internship to get a good job after graduation, we'll see in this video how you can leverage small part-time jobs and small experience during university to get a really good job after graduation. This week's guest is Hoang-Long, a great friend of mine, and we'll see how his experience, even if he had small jobs and small experience, how he got a really good job after graduation. So let's start. Hey Hoang-Long!
Hey Maddie.
How are you?
Good, you?
Very good, thanks. Thank you so much for being here in our fourth episode of College Graduation Advice. And I think you'll have great advice for our people today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's talk about your background first. So you studied at Concordia University, right?
Yeah. So I studied at John Wilson School of Business for about 4 years. I actually enrolled first in finance. So for the first 2 years, I was doing the core courses and then moved on the basic finance course. I saw that it wasn't in my interest to continue in finance. So for the last 2 years, I decided to change major and to graduate into business technology management.
Where do you work right now?
So right now I'm working at Beyond Technology as an SAP consultant in the retail practice. Which is a job directly related with what I learned in school.
Yeah, like business technology management.
Exactly.
So for the ones who don't know about BTM, we talk about how technology can influence business and how to enhance businesses overall. So when he says SAP consultant, it's like my job as well. We implement systems that will enhance our client's business. He is in retail, I am in HR. Just for the ones who don't know about that. So tell us about your feelings and your thoughts when you had to job hunt in your last year to get your full-time job. So did you have a lot of interviews?
Yeah, well, for sure it was really stressful. So I just did what I had to do. So keep sending some application. Mm-hmm. And I got some calls with some companies. So I did about 3 to 4 interviews before landing my actual jobs.
I think you started early, right? You started like in October and you were graduating May, right?
Yeah, exactly. I did my homework and knew that I had to start really earlier. So actually what I did is that like you said, I started in October and I got my job in February, which was about 2 months before I graduated.
And that's awesome because I know a lot of people, a lot of students who will focus on their studies, on their classes to make sure they don't like fail any class for the last year, but they forget about the recruitment part, right? You can't just expect to graduate and then to find a job like miraculously. So you have, like Hoang-Long said, you have to do your homework and start really early. So I remember I started in August. So I made like all my LinkedIn profile, my CV and stuff, and I started applying in September, and I remember I got my job in October. So, but I was graduating in December, so that's why you started a bit later. So that's awesome. So amazing. So you had a job offer 2 months before graduating in a really good company, right?
Yeah.
So I can only assume that you have a lot of experience and a lot of internship, right, in your resume.
No, actually, not at all. I didn't have any internship in my resume.
Okay, so how did you have a job offer if you didn't have any internship experience?
So mainly my resume was filled with projects that I did from my program at John Wilson, and also with volunteering experience and the events that I attended at Concordia.
Okay, very good. But if you don't mind, I just want to dig up a little bit more in your experience. So how come you didn't have any internship experience? So tell us about your first year in university. Did you have any chance of doing an internship?
Firstly, I will admit that I didn't care that much about getting an internship. I was more focused on getting good grades at classes.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me. I wanted to travel in the first year and during the summer. So I didn't really care to. So okay, tell us about your second year then.
So on my second year, I was starting my major in finance, so I did some basic classes, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to pursue a career in finance because I didn't like what I was studying. So I decided to not apply as well. That's it.
Okay, good. Okay, and how about your third year then?
So the third year is where I switched to business technology management. So I actually started to apply. I had about 2 calls. In one of them, went to the final round of the interview.
Okay.
And that is when I learned that I wasn't going to have the position, and I didn't receive any feedback from the recruiter. So that was really disappointing.
Yeah, I feel you. I had this experience a lot during university too, and I think that you too had this experience, or if you didn't have it, you will have it soon. Yeah, a lot of time you just apply to a company, you even do like the first interview, the second one, even the third one, you don't even get feedback or even an email saying that they took another candidate and not you. So sometimes you just stay in the mist, like we say, right? So what's your main advice for these type of situation?
So my main advice would be, don't be mad, just continue what you need to do, and I mean, learn from your mistake and improve every day.
I like the part where you say learn from your mistakes, because I said that in another video. When you go to interviews, make sure to be cautious about your interview. So what you say, how you say it, so that next time you do better, right? Okay, so you didn't have any internship experience in your first year, second year, third year, but you signed a job offer before graduating. So you said that your resume was filled with projects from Concordia, right? From volunteering experience and events that you attended. What else?
So the rest of my resume was actually filled up with 2 part-time jobs that I did during school.
During school, right? And that's really good that you say that, because a lot of people just say, oh, let me just focus on my grades, on my classes. I don't have time to work part-time. I'll see what I can do after I graduate. But I think that's a huge mistake, right? Because even the smallest part-time job, even if you work at McDonald's, for example, you'll learn valuable skills that you won't get anywhere else. You won't get at by reading books or by just studying 24 hours and 7 days a week. So please tell us how your part-time jobs helped you in your job hunt and how it helped you sign an offer before graduation. So I think you worked at Nespresso, right, at first?
My first job, I worked for Nespresso through an agency that was recruiting brand ambassadors. So
what did you learn there?
Yeah, so basically I think it was a great experience to learn to develop a lot of soft skills. So 2 main soft skills that I developed was communication skills and leadership skills. So on the leadership side, what I did is that I learned how to work alone, how to organize myself. I also had to train some employees from the stores where I used to work. And on the communication side, I would say that I learned how to communicate effectively with some clients, to sell them the value of what I was selling.
Yeah.
One skill that is really important to have is always to be concise in everything that you say. So whatever information that you have in your head, the end goal is always that the receiver understands perfectly what needs to be said. So
yeah, and I think I'll put a quote from Einstein here. He says, "Make things simple, but not simpler." So the way you're speaking to me, it felt like real companies, right, and real jobs, not part-time jobs, right? Because you learn so much.
Yeah, exactly. So even if it was only part-time job, which was between 16 to 20 hours, I felt like a real job where I had real responsibilities, where I had the chance to interact with customers and a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which some of them are still my friends. So I think it's a really valuable experience to have.
Yeah, and I think even as students, we had a chance to meet VPs, right, and directors, and those are real jobs, if I can say, and I think we learned a lot from these people. And that confirms my point in don't underestimate any part-time jobs, because you don't know what you're gonna learn there and what contacts you will make in these jobs, right? So just to summarize this video, so Hoang-Long got a job 2 months before graduating simply by using his part-time jobs and his projects at Concordia, and I think any students can do that if he's motivated like you and who is perseverant, right? So thank you very much, Hoang-Long, for sharing your experience.
Thank you, Maddie.
I hope to see you again in another episode, right?
Yeah.
And so thanks so much for your advice, and I think that it will help you as well. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this advice will help you out. So just to summarize the video, make sure that you don't underestimate any jobs or any experience that you may have in university. Make sure to meet the right people, attend events, volunteer in any job or work for free during university just to get the experience that you need, because you'll see that you will learn valuable things that you won't learn anywhere else. And those skills and those experience will help you get a job that you really enjoy after graduation. And just a side note on that, it will even tell you if you actually like what you're studying, if you actually like this area. So I repeat, if you didn't watch the first, the second, or the third episode, you can watch them now after this video. So I'll put a link in the YouTube cards or in the description below. So thanks so much. Tell me in the comment section below if you had any part-time job and how they helped you in your career during university or after university. So I'll see you next time. Ciao!